What is up, guys? Today I'm going to talk about Saddiq Bey's first season in the NBA. Saddiq Bey was drafted 19th overall to the Nets, but soon after was traded to the Pistons. There's not much buzz around him in the draft or this year, but he's shown good potential and great shooting. In my opinion, I think he fell in the draft and could have gone as high as the Celtics pick. He came out of college from Villanova, known as a 3-and-D type player with low upside. He's a sophomore. He was in his sophomore season at Villanova, shooting high percentage from three. People saw low upside because he was an NBA-ready all-around player, which aren't liked in today's age, where they go for the gamble with the raw talents and the raw athleticism, which he didn't have that raw athleticism that many athletes before him did. I think the Pistons made a great trade for Saddiq Bey, not having to sacrifice a single first-rounder for a productive rookie that's ready to play. I think he would have been good for the Nets if they didn't trade him this year because of how well he played this year. He shot well from three, and I like Saddiq Bey's potential as a wing that can contribute in almost every way to a team. He isn't the best playmaker, but I'm sure he can work on that. And he has good defense by using his length, IQ, and effort to make up for his subpar athleticism that makes him a not so high potential guy. Out of the 70 games Saddiq Bey played this season, he started 53 of them. He averaged 27.3 minutes a game and managed to get 12.2 points per game. He shot 40% from the field, which isn't that great, but he only attempted 4 attempts per game. And he shot 38% from 3 on 2.5 attempts per game, which is pretty good because he's making a good amount of threes this season. His effective field goal percentage was 53%, and he shot 84.4% from the free throw line on 2.1 attempts per game. He had 4.5 rebounds per game and 1.4 assists per game. I think he needs to develop in his playmaking ability if he wants to be a star. If he can have the threat of taking someone off the dribble and finishing at the rim or dishing it out to an open shooter, that might make a defender guard him looser, so now he can have a little more room to shoot. That might make the defender think about before he jumps for that closeout, because Saddiq Bey could be a threat for a mid-range or even maybe a finish at the rim. Basically, what I'm saying is that if he's a driving threat, then the defender might guard the drive, giving him more room to shoot. He averaged 0.7 steals and 0.2 blocks per game while having good defense for a rookie. With his good defense, he only fouled 1.6 times per game, which isn't a lot when you consider his playing time and that he's a rookie. He's really not experienced in this level of play. And having average defense, only getting 1.6 fouls. Fouls is a problem for a lot of rookies, so it's good to see that he's not fouling much. But this could go up next season if they give him more playing time, or more time with the ball in his hands. They might not, though, because they might draft a wing, which is not good for him if they do. His most points in a game was 33 points, too. And as you can see here, he has the third most threes all time from a rookie. And the only people ahead of him, really good players, Donovan Mitchell and Lillard. So, of course, that stat's going to make him look good. At the start of the season, Saddiq Bey was very streaky. But the theme throughout the season was streakiness with Saddiq Bey. At the start, he had a few good performances, but he also had some games that he wishes he could forget. Looking at his stats, you can see his progression throughout the season. By the middle of the season, he worked on his streakiness, and although he was still streaky, he had some games where he scored 30 and others scoring 7. He overall was getting better with his shots and improving his three-point efficiency from a slump during the in between the middle in the start of the season. During the seasons, the Pistons forward spot was kind of jammed with Jeremy Grant and Josh Jackson both playing forward, although Josh Jackson was playing some shooting guard, and they were both playing good. Saddiq Bey managed to get good minutes, and I think the team giving him all these minutes shows that they might commit to him in the future. If he takes the right steps over the offseason, I think he should work on his handling over the offseason. I'm sure the team has something set out for him. By the end of the season, he was getting a ton of minutes. He even got 40 minutes one game, which, if you're giving 40 minutes to any rookie, I think you're going to be committed to him for the future. I mean, it's the Pistons. I know they're kind of a mess. I know they have Jeremy Grant, Killian Hayes. Can Killian Hayes develop into a ball handler they need? I hope so for them. But if he doesn't, they need someone other than Jeremy Grant. It could be Josh Jackson. It could be Saddiq Bey. Saddiq Bey needs to take steps this offseason and continue taking steps after that, though. In general, Saddiq Bey doesn't have the highest ceiling of any player in this draft, if we're being real. But his three-point shooting potential and his defensive potential give him good value at this point in his career. Saddiq Bey might not have much room to grow and be smothered by any player if the Pistons draft a forward or a shooting guard. I think the Pistons will play Grant a lot, along with Josh Jackson, because of their play this season. They both played really good, in my opinion. Josh Jackson kind of revived his career, and Grant, I think he led this team. I don't know if he's a number one option for them in the future, but he led this team this season, and I think he could be a number two option on a really good team. The best situation for Bey is for the Pistons to draft a center, which would complement his perimeter game, or take a point guard who can challenge Killian Hayes. After Killian Hayes, okay, rookie season, I don't think it was that good. A lot of people say give him a chance. I don't know. If he doesn't take a step next season, I don't know if they should really be confident in his ability. Saddiq Bey has on offense has a good usage rate right now. Very good shooter. I think he may need to work on his ball handling, driving game, and bring both those to the next level. If he can even make a little bit better, it'll make a big difference. I think his main goal this offseason should be to work on his handle, and that'll unlock a lot of doors for his offensive game. On the defensive end, like most rookies, he wasn't amazing. He was streaky most of the season, which was, his theme throughout the season. But, he has the build to be a good defender. He doesn't have the athleticism, but I'm sure as his IQ increases, his defensive presence will become good. His athleticism makes it so his potential isn't great in the future either, but he can still be a viable defender. I don't think he'll be guarding the best players on the other team, but he can still not be a liability on the defensive end. Overall, Saddiq Bey might not become a superstar, but he wasn't drafted to become a superstar. He'll become a good contributor, and it was a good trade for Detroit to get him, and they didn't even have to lose a first-round pick. He isn't the most athletic, which limits his upside, but he makes up for this with perimeter shooting and his IQ for a rookie. If he can maintain his perimeter shooting, I think that'd be really good for him in the future. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Like and sub if you want. See you next time.